Sherry, have you ever worked with a brand that doesn't offer support like promotions or sales ideas?
I have, and it's so annoying.
Right, but that's not the case with Northwest Naturals.
Along with the support I've experienced personally from Northwest Naturals over the past 20 years, Carly and I keep hearing over and over about the outstanding retailer support they offer.
Yes, it is totally true. From in-store promotion to hands-on business building, they've got Indie's backs.
Because when our businesses thrive, so do the pets we serve.
And that's why Northwest Naturals puts retailers first.
Find out more at nw-naturals.net.
And right now, Northwest Naturals is offering an extra 5% on Gap ISOs for current clients, plus an extra 5% on any new ISO for new clients.
Just use promo code PetShopGirls.
Pet Shop Girls, the voice of the indie, the heart of the trade. Pet Shop Girls, unleash your power, let's make some waves.
Once upon a time, in the land of Retailvania, there lived a courageous shopkeeper named Frankie. Frankie didn't just own the store, she was the store. She answered phones with one hand, scooped kibble samples with the other, trained a new hire before lunch, restocked shelves like a Jack Russell at the dog park, and by 3 p.m., she'd already handled a dog with diarrhea, a cranky customer, and a toilet that refused to flush.
Frankie was more than just a store owner. She was a therapist, janitor, social media coordinator, nutritionist, stockroom ninja, and sometimes even a doggy behavior counselor. Her days were full, her heart fuller, but her stress levels overwhelming.
Meanwhile, across the land, galloping through territories in a well-worn hatchback, was a sales rep named Max. Max had 119 stores on his route, 5,000 SKUs in his sample bag, 11 price increases to announce, a week's worth of missed quotas, and a corporate office that wanted last quarter's numbers yesterday.
Max didn't just sell dog food. He juggled spreadsheets, chased down late POs, fought with backorder dragons, lived in a constant state of learning new industry trends, was losing the battle to an overflowing inbox, and fielded 37 texts before noon that all said, "Hey, did my order ship yet?" He was fueled by cold gas station coffee, day-old donuts, and the dream of finishing his day before the sunset.
One day, Frankie and Max crossed paths. Frankie sighed. "You didn't have an appointment, and I was elbow deep in inventory." Max blinked. "I only had 10 minutes between stores, and I thought I'd be quick."
And in that awkward silence, both of them had a realization. They were both barely staying afloat, but maybe if they tossed each other a life vest once in a while, they'd float a little easier.
And so began the tale of two pet pros who learned they weren't on opposite teams. They were just on different ends of the same leash.
Hey everybody, I'm Sherry.
And I'm Carly.
And welcome back to the Pet Shop Girls podcast.
Yes, after that enlightening and ever so accurate story of a tale of two pet pros.
Exactly.
How many times have you been there, Sherry? How many times have you had every single thing in your store that could blow up in your face, and then a rep walks in and you didn't know they were coming?
Yeah, by 10 a.m., I'm worn out and I'm done. And then a rep comes in and wants to sell me on the new food that I don't know, like I don't care about, honestly, at that point. And it's hard not to be rude. But yeah, we're going to go over some things that not only pet store owners should do, but reps should do too, so that we can all work together better.
Well, and that's the thing, right? We are after the same goals. The big goal, the big picture is that most people in the industry are really there to try to improve the lives of animals. And in order to do that, we're selling things to pet parents. But sometimes it feels like we are on opposite teams. And so we kind of want to talk about in this episode ways that you can be an awesome rep. If you're the rep, if you're Max in this story, we want to talk about how you can be the best Max you can be. And if you happen to be Frankie, the store owner on the other end of that leash, we want to talk about all the ways that you can be an awesome partner for that brand rep or for that distributor rep. So we want to talk about both sides and kind of maybe bring some or shed some light onto both sides of it so that we can all work better together.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Because ultimately we're all on the same team.
100%. So how do you want to do this, Sherry? Do you want to talk about, do we want to kind of go back and forth? Do we want to bounce back and forth between reps and stores, or you want to do one before the other?
Let's talk to reps first, and then we'll talk to store owners after that. Let's do that.
Okay. How to be awesome rep.
And we've all experienced amazing reps that help us. And then we've experienced some maybe not so amazing ones. So these are just some quick tips from our point of view if you are a rep listening.
And I would say, too, just to be fair, that some of the reps out there have probably encountered their fair share of amazing store owners and then pain in the
my
store
gosh.
owners.
Yes.
Yeah.
Store owners, please be nice to your reps, even if they don't set an appointment. I mean, there's a nice way to say it,
Yeah.
So that's the first one we want to talk about is setting appointments. That way you don't run into the problem like we just had in the story there. You both are on the same page. As the store owner, we carve out the time. We expect you. We are prepared.
Yeah. I think for the rep, though, too, you have my undivided attention because when you make that appointment, I'm not now worrying about all of the fires that are currently happening behind the scenes that I think I should be putting out, and I'm not going to have time, and I have to do this, and I have to do. So you're not getting my undivided attention. So making that appointment is just, it's kind of the professional, respectful thing to do is make that appointment, and then you get our undivided attention as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, especially if it's a store that you haven't worked with that much yet, or say it's a new store, ask what their goals are. What are your goals this quarter? What's your goals going forward? What's your goals in a year? And that way, you know what to recommend to them. Because if you go in just recommending everything and throwing spaghetti at the wall here, that's going to overwhelm the pet store owner, and they won't feel like you're on their team.
Well, and I think too, like I think about back in my corporate days, and I remember one of my most favorite humans on the earth, who the earth is sad because we no longer have him, but he was an amazing boss. He was a fantastic leader. He wasn't a boss. He was a leader. And I remember him saying to me that I was not in a sales position when I reported to him, PT Dubs. I was post sales. So it was not my job to sell the product, but oftentimes I was pulled into the sales process. And he always said to me, the biggest difference between me and the people that were supposed to be selling the product was, he said, you always ask to understand the business. And he said, that's what makes you so different, is because you truly want to understand the customer's business before you go in there and try to pitch them something. And to me, that only made sense, right? If I was trying to stick a square peg into a round hole, how often am I going to close that sale? I'm never closing that sale.
Right. For me, it's a trust thing too. One of my very first distributor reps, when I first opened and I didn't really know what I was doing, she was going through the categories with me, and we were talking about treats, and I was like, oh, should I just bring in all this? And she's like, no, wait on that. It's not a great seller. Let's bring it in later if you do well with these. And I still remember that 19 years later.
Yeah.
Because I felt like she really cared about the success of my business and didn't, I mean, if you just sell something to sell something and then it doesn't work in that store owner may not trust you.
Yeah, 100%. That's, I think about too, like when I have, and they don't even have to be sales reps in the pet industry. When I have any type of a sales rep coming into my business to sell me something for my business, but they haven't taken the time to do their homework on what kind of a store I am, I'm immediately offended if you walk in with I'm going to go back to the pet industry, but like a tray of fancy feast. And you're like, hey, I got this great deal on here right now. Like, why are you talking to me about this? You obviously have not done your homework. You don't know what kind of a pet store we are. I would never buy these things from you. So don't show me stuff that I'm not going to buy. But in order to know what kind of things I'm going to buy, you need to do your homework and you need to figure out what kind of a customer I am. If reps who have ever worked in a pet store, if they've ever worked in a pet store as the person trying to sell to the pet parent, if you kind of just apply the same methodology that you did when you were working with pet parents, you had to ask questions about the pet. You had to understand the pet's needs in order to sell the right things to that pet parent. So we got to do our homework. And for reps, do your homework on the stores that you're selling to. If that's a store that sells everything under the sun that has to do with pets, cool. Like, you can flog all your wares. But if that's a store that's very specific about the types of things that they carry, then show them the right things and you're going to make more sales.
Exactly. This is a long game. I tell this to my staff. This is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah. Yes.
So this next one, I run into this a lot where I'll ask the rep, okay, let's run a promo. And then they don't have any ideas whatsoever. So if you come in with some stuff, like some ideas that maybe have worked in other stores, and that's a question I asked you. Can you tell me what's worked in other stores for this product? Just bring some kind of ideas.
Well, you know what? Hey, I got a tip for reps on this part. We all have ChatGPT at our fingertips. If I was a rep, honestly, if I was a rep, I would tell ChatGPT all about the products that I sell or all about the products that I rep.
That's so smart.
And then I would sit down and I would say, I want to go and be a good partner for the stores that I'm servicing.
Oh, you could also load in there what your budget is, because most reps do have a promotional budget.
Absolutely. Or the store's budget too, right? Like if you're going to do some type of promotion that would cost the store. But I would then get ChatGPT to spit out a variety of different promo options, run them past your boss, make sure like, hey, these are kind of the different promos that I could set up, with my different stores. I wanted to make sure that you're cool with this. And now when the store says to you, geez, you know what? The whole line is really working well, except for this one product or except for these 3 products. Can we do some sort of a promo? You have in your back pocket a playbook of promos. Oh my God, that's what I would call it. I call it my promo playbook.
Ooh.
And I would
coming in hot, Carly.
Coming in hot. Yeah. So if I was a rep, that is 100% what I would be doing. Sherry, when I first opened House of Paws, I was spending way too much time making documents that I needed from scratch. Employee handbooks, sales games, event planners, even little giveaways for customers.
I remember. And those weren't just nice to haves. They make your store run smoother and kept your customers coming back.
Exactly. Every document I created was because I needed it for my own store. And then I kept hearing from other pet pros, I wish I had something like that.
I said that too, and that's what I love. These aren't theory. They're used in a real store with real results. I use your event planner every month. And now any indie retailer can grab them, save time, add their logo, and use them too.
Right? So if you're tired of starting from a blank page, check out houseofpawspetpro.com and use promo code PetShopGirls to get 10% off your first order and see which documents can help you get your time back.
I just thought of this. I really like the reps that come in, especially if I have a large line of their SKUs, and they help check expiration dates.
Oh, I have never had that happen.
Well, maybe.
Interesting.
Maybe my reps are better than yours.
Dun, 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 super rep.
No, like if you have a ton of SKUs, like especially like cat pouches or cat cans, I love it when they come in and they help check for expiration dates. Maybe you got short dated on something, or maybe one flavor just isn't selling and it's about to expire. They'll help run a promo on it, or they'll swap it. I love it when they do that.
Well, this would lead us into potentially our next item. And I do want to note too, if you're a rep and you're listening, please don't be offended. We say all of these things from our heart to help you, build that partnership with the stores. But These items that we're talking about, we actually polled our Indie Insider group. This is a group of pet pros in all different walks of the pet industry. Many retailers are in there, and we asked them what would make a super rep. And these are the things that they brought forward, and we could relate. We could relate, right? Anyways, off track. Sorry. Going back to, if you had expiries, let's say that you've now found them on your own. Your rep is not in the store, but I've reached out to you. Getting back to me, even if you don't have an answer quickly, is key to let me know that you give a crap about me as a partner in this partnership that we're trying to build here.
Right. Just say, okay, I'm working on it. I'll get back to you.
Something. And that, I mean, that goes for anybody, really. Anybody who has to do with communicating via email. Nothing drives me as the customer in the equation when I'm reaching out and I'm getting nothing back but crickets. Like, I'm just like, do you even care? This is, again, I'm going to go back to my corporate days. I'm not going to name the customer, but I got along with her quite well. But the majority of my corporation did not. They were so happy that she enjoyed dealing with me, because that meant they didn't have to deal with her. But you know what the difference was? Is she was what a lot of salespeople would refer to as a high maintenance customer. And she would email and she'd be like, this isn't working. This isn't working. This isn't working. Now this is broken. This changed, whatever her issue was of the day or hour. But you know what I did? Even if I didn't have an answer, I responded every single time. Got it? Thank you so much for the feedback. I'm going to look into this. I will let you know as soon as I have an answer. And when she first started working with me, I was getting like multiple emails a day, but those emails started to drastically slow down, and to the point that it was me then checking in with her, because she knew that if she put it on my plate, I was going to handle it for her. And I think that that's a thing, right? When we email out and the rep doesn't have an answer, but they're instead of responding and saying, I don't know, I'm looking into it, they just let us sit there.
I like that. Instead of just coming to see us to sell us things, maybe check in and be like, hey, how's everything going? Is there something we need to concentrate on to get moving, you know?
I have a rep. I do have a rep. I have a couple that do that, but one specifically that comes to mind every month. She reaches out just to say, hey, I'm just checking in. Wanted to make sure you knew about what promos we have. Wanted to make sure that, you know, if there's anything you need me to take care of, that I'm here for you. Here's my number. Here's my email. Like every month. Every month she contacts me.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yes.
So the next point we have is show appreciation. A thank you email. You know what I like is when a rep will come in and bring something for my staff. No.
Okay.
They'll bring in, you know, we get cookies a lot, but you know, I'm a health-minded person, so I would love some veggies and hummus. Reps, if you're listening, or even like a bag of like those little oranges. My staff loves that. We have a break room where we have snacks and stuff, and the staff sees where it comes from too, and they're like, "Oh, yeah. X brand brought these today. That's nice," you know?
Yeah. But I think even just acknowledging, and this goes for us too, as store owners, but acknowledging the fact that both of us on either side of this equation are extremely busy. And just acknowledging the fact that, hey, you took time to see me and I appreciate that. That goes both ways, right? If you're calling a rep to say, you need to get in here because X, Y, Z, and they do, there's nothing wrong with us sending that same thank you note to say, thank you so much for making time in your day for my store and my staff and all the things.
Oh, sure.
And if they bring you snacks, you could send that thank you letter too.
In fact, I have an ongoing list of certain people I work with in the industry that get Christmas cards from me. So, you know, they send me one, I'll send them one. Okay. The next point is educate instead of just selling all the time. Yeah. So maybe instead of saying, okay, here's 20 new SKUs that we got, you know, do you want to buy it? You could, in addition, leave some educational stuff. Or I like it when they do like an in the aisle training with my staff too.
It's, you know, I think too, like, I mean, as you all know, I put together a lot of different documentation for my store and for other pet pros. that is available on my website for you. But I love it when reps have that documentation that I can either just repurpose in store. And it's very clear, one thing that I ask my reps for every single time, if we bring in a new product, is I'm asking them, what are the keywords that a customer would use that would help me identify that your product could be a solution? So, right. So for example, it's a palate enhancer that, the product is a palate enhancer. So if we've got picky pets, adding this particular supplement to the bowl entices them to want to eat, something like that. Or this helps to combat yeast, or whatever those things are. But if they come with supporting documentation it's a quick, easy cheat sheet for my team, love it.
I love the charts that break down how much it costs to feed per day. And I love elevator pitches. Look, most customers aren't going to want to know the entire history of your brand. Therefore, my staff doesn't need to know 30 minutes of history of your brand.
I want to know the benefits.
Right. How can we sell it?
Yeah.
I need the elevator pitch.
And that's why I'm asking for those keywords. When reps come in, I'm looking for keywords that would help me recognize an opportunity to position your brand or your product. And you'd be surprised. In fact, I think I've only had one company that was able to go, these are the keywords that you're looking for. Everybody else is like,
you're kidding.
I'm not sure.
No way.
It's and I don't know if it's they're not, kind of in that mindset of selling the benefits, but benefits are what people buy. They don't buy features. They buy the benefits. So this is why I'm asking any reps that are working with me to sell a product. If I'm not already familiar with it, I'm going to be asking them, you tell me, what are the benefits to my customer and what are the keywords that they would use that I would understand your product is a solution?
I wanted to share a quick story because we're almost to the end of our list here for the reps.
And this is all about stories.
Yeah. So I had a rep one time that I guess she got real comfortable with me, and she got to the point where she came in, showed me some promo sheets and said, here, can you buy this one? I have to fulfill a quota. And, I think I hooked her up the first time because I had known her for so long, but none of those products sold in my store and I got burned and she didn't help me out. And then when she came in the next time and said, I have to fulfill a quota, can you buy this? And I'm like, no. And
that is not cool.
And then whenever she came into my store after that, I was in the office and unavailable.
Mm-hmm. And I believe I know which product you're talking about. Do you carry it anymore, Sherry?
I do not.
So that would be a hard lesson learned. But you know what? I get where you're coming from because yes, maybe as a rep you do have quotas, but the onus is on you as the rep to hit those quotas, not me as the customer to help you make them. Like, where is the value in that for me as the store owner? So I get why you wouldn't carry that product anymore, Sherry. I think about a rep that I have and she could probably give classes on how to be an awesome rep because she is, and she's always willing to help out with any promotions that we're doing, any events that we're doing. And she comes in, she does so I was wrong. She will come in and she will check my shelf for her products to see if they're close to expiry.
Yeah.
And she'll pull it and replace it.
Yeah.
Like every time. Yeah. No,
and that's the other thing. There are some brands, Carly and I have talked about this too. There are some brands where, yes, we may have a rep, but the brand doesn't give them a budget to work with and they can't run promos. So I like to theme out every month. So I have a freeze-dried frenzy month. I have a Canapalooza month. I have, a lot of people do August as Rawgust. So I'll hit up all my brands and say, here, would you like to do dollars off? So we can put you on our display table, put you in our newsletter and all that. And there's just some brands that I don't even ask anymore because I know they're going to say no. And Carly asked me if the sales of that particular brand are going up or down.
Yeah. Oh, I already know.
They go down. They go down.
Yep.
If we don't have promotional support, the brand usually suffers in our stores.
Big time. And when you say that, Sherry, too, I mean, I do the same thing, right? When we're putting together events or promotions, Raugus comes to mind, and I'm reaching out saying, hey, do you want to participate? And it's not even a no, it's just I'm ghosted.
Yeah.
I hear
know which brand
from,
we're talking about right now.
and that brand is, I would say, significantly suffering in my store because I can't get any support. And listen, I'm not asking for free stuff 12 months of the year, but I'm saying when I reach out to you once or twice a year, or maybe 3 times, and I just don't even get a response, I stop asking.
And for serious too, it's like, okay, let's say I just want to run a promo on your toppers and I want to do $1 off. How many toppers do you really think I'm going to sell in a month? A single store.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sell maybe what? 20, 30? You're out $30.
Yeah. Okay, she's getting
I'm
angry
getting a little
now.
angry now. I'm so sorry.
Did we have a Gargamel villain in our fairy tale here or something?
Well, there always is one. Yeah.
Okay. Again, reps, we're not beating you up. We are giving you
that tangent was not about reps. That was about the budget that the brand sets, and that's not their fault.
Yeah. This is your checklist. This is your checklist. And it came from actual retailers when we solicited them in our group about what makes an awesome rep. So that's your checklist. And I mean, if you can start nailing even 80% of that checklist, you will already be super rep in your store's eyes, right? But now,
okay, retailers, we got to be real too, because I've heard from so many reps that they'll go into a store and that they get like chewed out by the owner. Yep. They get ignored. That's not cool. That's not how you build a relationship.
No. And I guess the first thing that we have to do there as store owners is, if you will only have meetings with a rep by appointment, if it's by appointment only, set that boundary.
Right.
Let them know
that. Actually happened to me last week, Carly. It was a new rep that I'd never seen before. And he caught me as I was going out the door and I had to be somewhere else. And I'm like, hey, I'm glad you caught me because I'm in and out a lot these days. But please make an appointment next time so that I can actually give you the time. Here's my card. Please reach out. Yep.
And you know what? I mean, I have said this to reps in the past that, hey, I don't mind you coming to the store at all. I mean, there's a need for our conversations, but please, in order for me to be able to give you a dedicated time, let me know. And I know that I do have one rep who I have continued to try to set this boundary, which he disregards, and he just shows up. And I have said that to him.
You've already told him and he doesn't listen? Oh.
And when I said, you need to make an appointment, I'm not always here. And when I am, I'm busy and I got things on the go. So in order for me to be able to give you my undivided attention, please make an appointment. And he's like, but you're here. That was his response. And I'm like, I am here, but I have 17 other things on the go. Wait a minute. I got 100 things on the go and you're not one of them? Is that like a song or something?
Yeah, I'll think of it in a minute.
100 problems and you're not one of them? I don't, whatever it is. Yeah. So this is, I mean.
I got 99 problems and a bleep ain't one.
And in this case, he'd be the bleep. But yeah, so I'm trying to set that boundary and I'm trying to do it nicely. But I guess as a store owner, that's all we can say is that if you want your reps to come by appointment, then be sure to let them know that. Because if you don't tell them that, and they've got other stores that are like, yeah, come whenever you want to, I'm always here, then they might think that you're the same way. So as a store owner, if you need appointments set, make sure that you set that clear boundary.
And yeah, that hits our first point, which was setting boundaries and preferences and communicating that. So if you don't communicate it, then you're going to get off on the wrong foot and it's never going to be right. So.
Mm-hmm. And exactly what you said, Sherry, like you were just heading out the door. So we need to, if we have to say no, hey, I don't have time to see you, but here's another time. And in your instance, Sherry, like, or in your situation, that's probably a heck of a lot easier because Dallas is humongous compared to Regina. So my reps are kind of like, if they're in town for that day, and then I wouldn't see them for a month or 3.
I know. I am blessed because I see a lot of reps.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
They land at DFW airport and I'm like 20 minutes away. So
yeah. I'm a flyover. They fly over Saskatchewan as they go to different provinces.
So making an appointment makes even more sense with you.
Especially, right? Because if they're only in town for the day and they don't make an appointment, I may not be at the store. Or I may not have any time to see them because of whatever I've got going on.
If I was a brand owner listening to this, I would pay attention too, because if that rep is just wasting your money by like getting on plane flights and missing talking to the store owners, or worse, pissing them off, like, you should know,
Yes. You know what? I think about a former distributor rep that I used to work with. No longer do I use that distributor, but I felt like I was just a checkbox on his list of things he had to do. And he wasn't coming to my store to provide any type of value. Like when I read the list of what our indies were saying in the Indie Insider about showing me valuable products that align with my store and making appointments and all of the things that they said, I'm like, man, this guy broke every one of these rules. He would always come in here and show me things that never aligned with my store. And I'm like, do you know anything about me? And it was I would either get a text the day of or the day before, hey, I'm going to be there. Can I come see you at 2? Well, that's short notice. And I would try to, my store was pretty new, right? I didn't know how things worked. And I would try to rearrange my schedule to make sure that I could meet this guy, just to have him show me stuff I would never buy and never be able to answer any of my questions about the things I was interested in. And
that's just a guy with a job. It didn't sound like he really cared. Yeah.
100%. And that's what I felt like a checkbox. Yeah. Like he had to go back to his boss and say, hey, I went and visited 16 stores when I was in Saskatchewan and I was one of them. And that's not a partnership, right? Then I'm just a task. I don't want to be a task.
All right. Let's get back to talking to the pet store owners. So.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
Yeah. Okay. So we want to treat our reps as partners, not interruptions. Be sure to set your boundaries, communicate. I like to even just talk about the weather, talk about life, try to build rapport with them. Yeah. And in return, it'll be a much easier road to go down.
Hey, and when you have that brand or distributor partner who you have legitimately developed a friendship with and or a respectful partnership, professional relationship, mutual respect, it's always going to make your life that much easier.
And it's so much more fun. It makes it makes my life better. I like having friends in the industry. Your rep could be your friend.
Yep. And you know what? I have one of my favorite reps. I see them monthly, but we meet for 3 to 4 hours every time they come to town. 3 to 4 hours, because we got lots to talk about. It's not just work. Yeah. We have developed that relationship, but I know that guy has my back. And when I need something, I know that he's there, and vice versa, right? If he needed something, it's rare that he would need something from me, but hey, maybe they brought in a new product and he wants a store to get behind it. He knows he can come to me.
Well, and I like to keep my finger on the pulse of the industry, right? And the reps are going around. They see a lot of other stores. They hear a lot of things. They're traveling. One of the questions that I like to ask more recently is like, what trends are you seeing in the industry right now? Yep. Not just with their brand, but just in general. Yep. And I just want to see from their point of view what's going on.
Yep. I would say too, like a good example of that was, I'm going to say for us, I noticed it about 2 years ago. 2 years ago, Christmas time. Our Christmas was different. people weren't buying the Christmas toys that they were before.
Same.
And I had that chat with my rep and I said, what are you seeing in other stores? And he said, you're not alone. Like, we're sitting there as a distributor holding all of this Christmas merch because pet parents aren't buying it, which means stores aren't buying it, which means that we're stuck with all this Christmas merch. Because, but it was, I mean, without having that relationship, I wouldn't be able to have that conversation with him.
Yeah.
Because he might just be like, oh, all the other stores are fine. Keep doing what you're doing. Buy more Christmas stuff. Right? Like,
now, let's say your rep is genuine and they come in and they show you some stuff that you just absolutely hate. Give feedback kindly, please.
And honestly.
Like, tell them why you don't think it would be a good fit for your store. And then they can use that information for the future and tailor their pitch to you in the future.
Yeah. Or what your concerns legitimately are about the products that they're showing you and why it's not a good fit. Because guaranteed, even if you're a particular type of store, because I'm going to say I'm a particular type of store.
Yeah, you are.
But I guarantee my reps also have other stores like me.
Yes.
Right? There's going to be other stores like me on their routes. So, okay. You guys make plans. We make plans. You sit down at the beginning of the year or the end of the year, whatever you do, and you make your plans for your upcoming year, all your different promotions and sales. Share that information with your rep. You don't have to share your entire marketing plan, but take that marketing plan and you literally, again, plug this into ChatGPT and say, pull out the specific information that impacts this brand or this distributor or this rep. And then give them a one-pager. Hey, guy, this is what I got planned for the year. You know, where can we partner up and help each other out?
I could be wrong on this, but I feel like my reps appreciate that I plan so far in advance. I try to plan for a basic promotions. I plan a month in advance and I hit them up for, what dollars off or whatever that I want to do. For big events like our Halloween event, which is our biggest event of the year, I start talking to them in July. Just to get the ball rolling on some bigger promotions,
I would, for the first 3 years of my store, I would share my entire marketing plan with all of my reps.
I did that once and I think I overwhelmed them.
Well, that's what I think too. Like so now I've kind of like, I got to scale that back a little bit, but I would show them the entire year and I'd be like, where do you want to partner? Like what fits well with you, all of the things. But I mean, there are some companies that may share the information for, hey, this is what we're doing as a brand this year, and others may not. So that rep may be going, listen, it's Monday. I don't know what's going to happen Friday because everything changes, right? So they may not be able to action any of that information anyways. But I would say when you do put a I hear Vinny.
Sorry, that was my dog snoring.
I would say that when you do partner together and have that promotion, you'll have some metrics associated with that. So share those wins to your rep, like as a store owner, right? Say, oh my goodness, we brought in 30 of these. We sold 27. Like we got to do this again. They're going to be way more apt to help you next time because you're killing it with the promotions they're helping you set up.
Exactly. And that kind of ties into asking for tools. And what that means is, for me, ask them for historical data. I love asking for historical data, and hopefully they can provide that so that they can see too, okay, we ran this promotion last year in June and then your sales went up 10% because of it.
Yeah.
Or, it's just nice to track things like that.
Well, hey, and tools can also be tangible. And by that, I mean, I was in a store in a different city and I saw chip clips from my brand, a brand that I carry. And I'm like, what? Like, I didn't know what? And I reached out to my rep and I'm like, hey, I saw these chip clips. And they're like, well, do you want some? I'm like, oh my God, can I have them? And they're like, yeah, you just have to ask. We don't offer, you just have to ask. So that might be a question that as a store owner, you might go back to your favorite reps that you've built that rapport and relationship with and say, hey, what are some of the hidden gems that if I don't know about, I don't get without asking? And maybe they'll say, well, we have chip clips or whatever it is, right? Listen, the chip clips were awesome because we brought in a new treat and it would have been great hanging beside their line, but I didn't have the chip clips.
Or like people, the general public, in my opinion, loves swag because it's not something they can buy. So, you could have offered, like for a weekend, when you first got those treats in, you could say, hey, buy a bag of these treats, get this really cool chip clip, to go with it.
Oh, no. Oh, I've been saying chip clips. Sorry. Strip clips.
Oh, my
Clip strips. Those things.
Oh my gosh. I was thinking like a bag clip thing because
no.
There's a couple brands that I've had with it's like a bag clip that's magnetic too. So you can put it on your fridge and it's a great giveaway.
Okay, sorry. No, what I was asking
you're talking about merchandising. Okay.
Merchandising tools for my store.
Well, that's good too. That's good too.
This leads us to our last tip for store owners is that remember, just like you, they're human. And just like me, they call strips. Chip clips.
Strip clip, chip clip.
What are they called?
Clip strips.
Those strippy things that you clip.
It's a clip strip.
A clip strip, see? And I called it a chip clip. I'm human. I make mistakes. I'm also juggling a bazillion things and I can't be held responsible for my mouth. It says things.
But
that I didn't
chip clips are cool too. You had me. You had me.
Now Sherry's thinking, which one of my brands would have chip clips tonight?
I know. I think I am running low. I need some more.
You need some more chip clips. So yes. Okay. Anyways, hopefully in all of this, we have basically given you that roadmap to success, to having that successful partnership, because as we started this story off, we are in this together. And the more that we work together respectfully, the better off it will be for our store and our reps. Respect.
That's a good one. That's a yes. Mm-hmm. We want to work with each other, not against each other. And I'm not saying you need to be besties with all of your reps because look, there's some people we just don't get along with, but show some mutual respect.
Yeah. Professional respect.
Yes.
Professional respect. Because at the end of the day, Frankie and Max didn't need to become best friends. They just needed to understand each other's world a little better.
Because when store owners and reps work with each other instead of around each other, magic happens. Shelves stay stocked, customers stay loyal, and both sides win.
So whether you're behind the register or behind the wheel, remember this.
You're not just selling products. You're part of the same pack. And packs look out for each other.
And they all lived happily ever after.
The end.
That's it for this episode, Pet Pro. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, Pet Pro, that's it for this week.
Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe.
Just hit all the buttons.
And if you want more, join us in the Indie Insider, our private Facebook group for pet pros.
Then you'll never miss the podcast that makes you sit, stay, and beg for more. The Pet Shop Girls.
Pet Shop Girls.
Okay, my pet pros, you got a minute? Let's talk about one of my favorite things to talk about. Training.
You know how hard it is to keep your team educated on all the different brands you carry.
Right? And that is where Retail.pet comes in. It's a free, easy-to-use platform where your staff can learn all about your favorite brands in one place.
No more chasing reps or random PDFs or remembering 5 million logins for each brand website. Retail Pet keeps your team sharp, your customers happy, and your sales strong.
Exactly. So if you're not using it yet, sign up at retail.pet. It's made for pet retailers like us.